of Canada. Your visit to Winnipeg coincides with the visit of two other very important visitors, Chang Chang and Rong Rong. Their stay at the Winnipeg Zoo will be the only visit of giant pandas in the world this year. Now, let's meet the players and participants of the 1989 National Series of Reach for the Top.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stan Mahalik, and welcome. Well, the long road to the national championship is just about ended. Today, we have the first semifinal round between British Columbia and Manitoba, who have fought long and hard to reach this point. The winners of today's game will go into the national championship round. Here's a look at our two clubs today, Manitoba and British Columbia. Before we move on and meet the students individually, let's look at the judges and the scorekeepers who will be officiating today's game. This is Paul Russell, and next to him, Neil Harris. And our official scorekeepers, Sandy Wallachuk and Vona Geiler. And the lady with the championship questions, here is Kathy Daly.
Thank you, Stan, and everyone, and welcome to this semifinal match between British Columbia and Manitoba. Let's introduce you now to the players from Manitoba and Silver Heights Collegiate, the Manitoba champions, Sean Lynch, Fiona Jeffries, Jeff Steele, and Stephen Schroeder, and their coach in the studio audience is Ron Bailey. And now the players from British Columbia, and they are represented by the players from Mount Douglas Senior Secondary School, Ian Dixon, Roman Storzer, Jeffrey Crofton, and Craig Steeves, and their coach is Ted Lampard. And ladies and gentlemen, let's start with a round of snappers. Lusaka is a major city in Sean.
It is Zambia.
Yes, that is right. On what day is the Ides of March, Sean?
March 15th.
Right. How many seconds are in an hour, Sean?
3,600.
That is correct. What character did W.C. Fields play in the 1933 Sean?
Barnum.
1933 film Alice in Wonderland, B.C. Jeffrey.
The Mad Hatter.
Humpty Dumpty. What is the capital of Uganda, Sean?
Kampala.
Right for 10. Here's an open question for 30 points now on villains. From the description given, please identify the following villains. He sold a friend for 30 pieces of silver. Jeffrey.
Judas Iscariot.
Right for 10. After he presided over the bloody assizes of 1685, what was the nickname of this English judge? George Jeffreys. Sean.
The Hanging Judge.
Yes, that is right for 10 points, the Hanging Judge. This fictional Charles Dickens villain ran a finishing school for little hoods, Sean. Not there, not there. Pickpockets. Ian.
Fagin.
Fagin is right for 10. An open video question now for 20 points on Renaissance art. Please watch your monitors and wait for the question. Who painted this fresco, part of Fiona?
Michelangelo.
Right for 10. It is part of a composition illustrating scenes from Fiona.
Sistine Chapel.
Yes, for 10 points. A clean sweep on that. Now it's time for a 35-point team question. The scramble for 5 points. The team which answers this correctly has the chance to earn the next 30 points exclusively. For 5 points, what is the Latin motto on Canada's coat of arms? Ian.
Oh, sorry.
Not there. Manitoba. Sean?
Uscat Mer.
No, that is not right. It's Amari Uska Admari. That's what it is. An open question for 30 points now on literature. What was the name of the protagonist pig in Animal Farm? Ian.
Napoleon.
Right for 10 points. Following World War I, who wrote the anti-war novel Craig?
Eric Remarque.
Right. What is the name of John Steinbeck's famous Sean?
The Grapes of Wrath.
Yes, for 10 points. An open question for 40 on Catherine the Great. The following questions pertain to Catherine II, or the Great, Empress of Russia from 1762 to 1796. Who was Catherine's husband? Name and number. Jeffrey.
Peter the First.
No. Manitoba. Sean.
Peter the Second.
Peter III, the next one in line. When she took power, Catherine replenished the empty treasury by taking over the property of what group, Sean?
The Nobles.
No, British Columbia.
The
Ian.
Church?
The Church is right for 10. In 1787, Turkey declared war on Russia because of Catherine's... Sean.
Azov.
Annexation of what Black Sea region, BC?
Crimea.
Crimea is right for 10. Here's an open audio question. It's worth 40 points. The subject is pop music. Please listen and wait for the question.
Oh, sorry.
Ian.
The Police.
That is right for 10 points. Now, Sting, Andy Summers, and Stuart Copeland made up the Police. Which of the trio, Sean?
Sting.
is the percussionist, BC. Ian.
It's Copeland.
Copeland is right for 10 points. Let's listen to the next selection. Stephen?
U2.
U2 is right. I didn't even ask the question. It's a chance you take. This is going to be a 30-point open question. We're moving on now to the next one, an open question for 30 points on geography. If I were going to the ancient Moorish kingdom, the Algarve, what, Jeffrey?
Spain.
What country would I be visiting? Manitoba. Sean?
Morocco.
Portugal. The Galapagos Islands are approximately, Sean?
Off Ecuador.
That is right for 10 points. On what Caribbean island would I be if I were swimming at Okios Rio? Jeffrey?
Jamaica.
Jamaica is right for 10 points. A round of snappers now. The slogan, 54-40 or fight. Jeffrey?
Polk.
Polk is right. Who was the most valuable player in this year's Stanley, Sean? Stanley Cup Series, BC.
Al McGuinness.
Al McGuinness is right. The 1957 film Witness for the Prosecution, Sean?
Perry Mason.
Starring Tyrone Power and Marlene Dietrich, was originally a stage play. Who wrote it, BC?
Arthur Miller.
Craig, it's Agatha Christie. Whose 1845 to 1847 expedition, Sean?
Lewis and Clark.
To the Canadian North ended in tragedy when all 129...
Franklin.
Craig. That is right for 10 points. What body of water separates Saudi Arabia from Ethiopia, Jeffrey?
The Red Sea.
Red Sea is right for 10. Here's a 40-point assigned question. The subject is biology. Everyone lean back. You know you're going to be on the hot seat now for 10 points at least. If you fail to answer your assigned question correctly, your opponent above or below you has a chance at it for 5 points. Now, organisms in nature respond to a wide variety of stimuli. These stimuli are often represented by a certain prefix. For example, the prefix photo indicates a response to light. In each of the following cases, I will give you a certain prefix. You give me the exact response it signifies. Manitoba will start with you, and Sean, thermo.
Response to heat.
Watching the judges? No. Ian for 5.
Response to temperature.
Temperature is it specifically. Good for 5 points. Fiona for 10. Chemo.
Response to chemicals.
Right for 10 points. Jeff? High grow. High grow.
Water.
That is wrong. Jeffrey for 5.
Sunlight.
Humidity. Stephen for 10 points. Seismo.
To earthquakes.
Yes, for 10 points. British Columbia and Ian. Hydro.
Response to water.
Yes, for 10 points. You're relieved here, I'll bet. Roman for 10. Galvano.
The response to radiation.
Not radiation. Fiona for 5.
Metals.
Electricity. Jeffrey for 10 points. Geo.
To the earth.
Yes, for 10 points. Craig for 10. Thigmo. Thigmo.
Noise.
Touch. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave it away. Stephen will give you a chance for a 5-point question later on in the match. We're going to move now to an open question for 30 points on Canadiana. Identify the following 20th century Canadians. Who was appointed president of the National Research Council in 1935, but Sean? But returned to the forces in World War II as commander of the 1st Canadian Infantry Division, British Columbia. H.E.L. MacNaughton. Who was the first woman in Canada to head a completely coeducational university? Simon Fraser, from 1974 to 1978. Who was that? Craig.
Smith.
No, Manitoba. Sean.
McClung.
Pauline Jewett. Who was the first Canadian writer to win France's celebrated Prix Femina? Sean.
Gabrielle Roy.
That is right for 10 points, and it's on that note that we're going to break and return with round 2 of the semifinal in a moment.
The national championships on Reach for the Top. We'll be right back.
Before the competition began.
Nothing relieves the tension of competition as much as a good laugh, and Rumors Comedy Club supplied them in abundance as comedian Jeff Foxworthy took the stage during a dinner break.
Mr. Foxworthy, do you know why I pulled you over, sir? Well, it concerns that vehicle you're pulling behind you. No, sir, it's not against the law to tow a boat, but we do require you put it on a trailer.
Proof positive that even at the national finals, laughter is still the best medicine.
Welcome back, and during the break, Manitoba challenged one of the assigned questions that we had given, and it was the first one assigned to Sean Lynch of Manitoba, thermo, and what does that indicate? What response does it indicate? The judge has officially ruled that indeed thermo is as related to heat as Sean had initially responded, so Manitoba will get another 10 points for that correct answer, and Ian Dixon from British Columbia, who answered temperature, we will take away 5 points for that. And before we get underway, I denied Stephen Schroeder a 5-point opportunity. So again, the same subject matter, Stephen, for 5 points. The exact significant response to bio. What is bio? For 5 points. What does it respond to?
To degeneration.
No, to life is the answer. So now we'll move on to the regular game and a 30-point open question on geography and Winnipeg. The city of Winnipeg is located at the junction of which, Jeffrey?
Assiniboine and Red.
That is right for 10 points. Multiple choice now. How many kilometers is Winnipeg located north of the Canadian-U.S. border? 50, 100, Sean?
100.
100 is right. With which saintly Minnesota city does Winnipeg, Sean?
St. Paul.
St. Paul is right for 10 points. Here's an open question now for 30 on beverages. In April of 1988, a brown powder which revolutionized the world's coffee, Sean?
Instant coffee.
Instant coffee is right for 10 points. In the 1930s, which Swiss-based food conglomerate was approached by the Brazilian government because of coffee, Sean?
Lucerne.
No, a coffee surplus had forced them to burn or dump their excess harvest into the sea. Researcher Max Morgenthaler of this firm actually developed the product. What is the firm, BC?
Sanka.
It is Nestle. Instant coffee was considered essential for the U.S. war effort. GIs were issued a daily ration, and its popularity was assured. What brand name, Craig?
Sanka.
Not Sanka that time. Used by Nestle was the most commonly used Manitoba, Sean?
Maxwell House.
Nescafe is the one. Here's an open question for 30 points. It's a word puzzle. What letter must be added to the beginning of a word meaning a noun suffix having properly a diminutive force, now lost in many words, to create a second word meaning in slang, one in favor of allowing the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages? What's the letter? Stephen?
B.
No. British Columbia. E.
S.
W. Et and wet. What letter must be added to the beginning of a word meaning a profoundly wise man to create a second word meaning, Sean?
S.
No. Meaning a dialect mutually intelligible with Ponca and belonging to the Siouan language family. British Columbia. Jeffrey?
U.
O, sage and Osage. What letter must be added to the beginning of a word meaning in radio terms, the medium through which radio waves are transmitted, to create a second word meaning botany, in botany terms, a filamentous outgrowth of the epidermis? Jeff?
H.
H is right. Air and hair. Here's a... The who am I question. It is worth 40 points. We'll take away 10 points for each clue we give you after that. Here's a 40-point chance. Born in Toronto on February 1st, 1895, I was awarded the Military Cross in World War, Sean?
Billy Bishop.
No, and was severely injured in World War II. Between the wars, I was a University of Toronto coach and began my career as a sports entrepreneur. BC, who am I for 40 points? Jeffrey?
Harold Ballard.
No, for 30 points now. I bought a hockey team called the St. Pats, and Craig?
Conn Smythe.
Conn Smythe is right for 30 points. And on that note, we're going to take a break, give you a breather, and return in a moment.
Stay tuned for more action as the national championships of Reach for the Top continue after these messages.
The Petawawa Civic Center has summer fun for everyone.
Of Canada.
Welcome back to a very tight semi-final round. A 30-point Who Am I has moved BC into the lead only slightly. 190 for British Columbia, 180 for Manitoba. That's the score so far. Here's another round with Kathy Daly.
And ladies and gentlemen, an open video question for 30 points. The subject is children in art. Please watch your monitors and wait for the questions. Which 20th century artist painted this scene? Craig, hold on a second. We're having a video problem. This is the wrong picture. So we are going to move on and give you a chance to earn a quick 20 points, ladies and gentlemen. It's an open question for 20 points. It's a 20-point special. Name any 4 of the 6 categories of Nobel Prizes. Sean?
Literature, economics, peace, and physiology.
Yes, that is right for... An open question now for... It is...
No, that's not right.
Oh, he's... just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. The judge is ruling that it's fine. Open question for 30 points on acronyms, ladies and gentlemen. Give the expanded form of the following acronyms. SD, Sean. SDI, British Columbia, Jeffrey.
Strategic Defense Initiative.
Correct for 10. CRTC, Sean.
Canadian Radio and Television Commission.
No. Ian.
Canadian Radio and Telecommunications Commission.
No, it is Canadian Radio and Television and Telecommunications Commission. EDT. Ian.
Eastern Daylight Time.
Right for 10. An open question for 40 points on costumes and clothing. Name the heavy woolen helmet knitted by women for British and American soldiers.
Balaclava.
Ian. Right for 10. What hat is fashioned from the cork of the Indian spongewood tree and covered by white cloth, was first worn by the British Army in India? Ian.
A helmet.
Not there. Manitoba. Fiona.
Fez?
Pith is the right answer. What form of Persian head and body covering is now compulsory wear for women in Iran? Jeffrey.
Veil? Veil?
No, Manitoba. Chador. Popularly known for the Indian president who wore it. What is the name of...
A Nehru jacket.
Yes, that is right, the Nehru jacket. An open question for 30 points on mathematics. Give the cube root of the sum of 9, 5, 6, 7. Sean.
3.
Yes. Which Scottish mathematician invented... Sean.
Napier.
Napier's right, logarithms. What term describes mathematics as the study of quantity, form? Sean.
Geometry.
Form, arrangement, and magnitude and their practical connections. BC. Jeffrey.
Physics.
Applied mathematics. Here's a 30-point open question on Scotland. What 1746 battle was the final? Sean.
Dunsmuir.
Defeat of Ian.
Stirling.
Culloden. On the edge of what large ocean inlet does the city of Edinburgh sit? Craig.
Atlantic.
No. Manitoba. Sean.
North Sea.
The Firth of Forth. What Scottish peak is the tallest in the British Isles?
Ben
Ian.
Nevis.
Yes, for 10. An open question for 20 points on food. Following questions on food and people's names. An Italian opera singer of yesteryear, Jeffrey.
Peach Melba.
No. Whose first name was Louisa, lends her name to a dish of leftover poultry, pasta, and sauce, often made of leftover holiday turkey, and is such called Manitoba turkey. Sean.
Castiglione.
Tetrazzini. A dessert made of liqueur-soaked strawberries. Sean? Not there. With raspberry sauce bears the name of which famous imperial dynasty, BC? Romanov. An open question for 40 points on border cities. Following questions all name a city, and you name the principal city associated with it or bordering it. Ottawa. Jeffrey.
Hull.
Yes. Sean.
Flint.
Eilat, Israel, British Columbia. Jeffrey.
Cairo.
Aqaba, Jordan. Malmo, Sweden. Jeffrey.
Goldberg.
That is right. I heard it, Copenhagen. That is right for 10 points. Final round of snappers now, ladies and gentlemen. Which American composer and lyricist is noted for such musicals as Sean?
Irving Berlin.
No, as Little Night Music, Sweeney Todd, BC.
Hammerstein.
Sondheim. What U.S. university built the first football stadium in 1903? Jeffrey.
Harvard.
Yes, that is right. Montreal's Habitat Complex and the National Gallery of Canada were designed by which architect? Ian?
Oh.
Not there. Manitoba? Moshe Safdie. What was the name of the ship that took Sieur de Grozier on his historic voyage? Jeffrey.
The Nonsuch.
Nonsuch is right. What is the side opposite the right angle in a right angle?
Hypotenuse.
Yes, right for 10. Which Canadian was the first man to share both the 100-yard and 100-meter world? Sean.
Percy Williams.
No, world sprinting records. BC.
Ben
Craig.
Johnson.
Harry Jerome. The majority of Turkey's area is contained by what geographical? Sean.
Asia.
No. Geographical region. Jeffrey.
Asia Minor.
Asia Minor is right. Where is Newfoundland's only international airport? Sean.
St. John's.
No.
Gander.
Gander's right. What is the capital of Namibia? Sean.
Windhoek.
Yes. Which Canadian was the first figure skater to successfully perform? Sean.
Orser.
Craig.
Kurt Browning.
Yes. Who played T.E. Lawrence in the 1963 film Jeffrey? Not there. Lawrence of Arabia, Manitoba. Fiona.
O'Toole.
Yes. What country entered the Korean conflict after UN? Sean.
China.
Yes, China. Which Governor General wrote the 1839? Sean.
Buchan.
No. Report of
Durham.
Yes, Durham is right. The Erebus and Terror were the vessels of which man's ill-fated expedition to the Arctic? Craig.
Franklin.
Yes, Franklin is right. Which explorer claimed Newfoundland for England? Sean.
Gilbert.
Yes. The famous production line of the Detroit Red Wings included Sid Abel, Gordie Howe, Sean.
Alex Delvecchio.
No. And who, BC? Ted Lindsay. What country is divided into 20 cantons and 6 Sean?
Switzerland.
Yes. There goes the bell, and there is the end of the game. We will return with a final, well, the final look at this semifinal in a moment.
We'll be back in a moment to give you the official score in this national playoffs game of Reach for the Top.
Welcome back, and congratulations, British Columbia. You are in the finals of Reach for the Top. You will await the other semi-final action between Ontario and Nova Scotia, which will decide your competitor for the national championships. The official score, 320 for British Columbia, 280 for Manitoba. That's the way the game has ended. Here is Kathy Daly with our two teams.
And thank you, Stan. And before we welcome them back and thank our teams for playing, we do want to thank our judges and scorekeepers in this game who went to work today for sure. Paul Russell and Neil Harris. And our scorekeepers, Sandy Wallaschuk and Vona Geiler. We'd like to congratulate the players from Manitoba who did a fine job and made everyone proud, I'm sure, from Manitoba, from Silver Heights Collegiate. Congratulations, players. And we'd also like to congratulate the coach, who is Ron Bailey. And congratulations to you for playing so well. And from British Columbia, we'll see you in the next round. Congratulations for playing such a great game, and we'd like to congratulate, of course, your coach as well, Ted Lampard, for coaching you so well. So we'll see you in the finals then, and we'll see you next time right here as the national finals continue on Video on Cable TV. Reach for the Top. Bye-bye.
Transportation during the Reach for the Top National Championships has been provided exclusively by Circle Tours and Grey Goose Bus Lines, a Laidlaw company. And in celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Walkman, winners of the Reach for the Top National Championship will receive special edition Walkmans, courtesy of Sony of Canada Limited. Accommodations for students participating in the Reach for the Top National Championships have been provided by the University of Manitoba. The winners of the National Championship Series of Reach for the Top will have earned for their school a set of the 32-volume Encyclopedia Britannica in black heirloom. Each of the 4 students participating will also receive from Encyclopedia Britannica a 3-volume Merriam-Webster dictionary with a 7-languages translation. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-268-6364. Ask for operator number 5696.